Today was a pretty hectic or very busy day, because it was the grading day today. For the adults, because the club's gotten so big now that um, the gradings are split onto Saturday and Sunday. The Saturday being the junior gradings. That was all done yesterday, and today was like the adults, and the ladies kickbox gets done first. I think they had a morning lesson as well before. So yeah, that kind of takes place across the whole, up to 5 p.m. because that's 5 p.m. is when like my class starts. We do sort of run into that sort of time a little bit as well, but so yeah, everything is like very busy across the whole day. So as for me, I went to work at my actual like workplace until 1. Then I came home, had some food, and then went there. Got there for like 2:30 or something, and I was there helping out with grading stuff. I graded a couple of students on their kata. It was like the first kata that we do. And then I also helped grade on the panel. So with advanced students, the way we have it now is that we, instead of an individual instructor grading them and assessing how well they do, we've got a panel of 3 judges who kind of collectively decide what to grade them, or what like score to give them. I think it used to be, when it first came in, all 3 judges would like individually put down their own scores, and then like the mean average for each technique would be discerned between those 3 sets of results. But now it just kind of revolves around being a collective decision on, like, so the head coach will put down this number, and I'll kind of ask the other 2 whether they agree with it, whether they think for whatever reason it needs to be bumped up or down, or whether they agree with it, basically. So I helped out with that as well. I was on the panel, and I also did my own grading for Kata 10, which is quite a lot. Sort of. To roughly summarise the way it works, in between white and black belt you have to do 4 of these sort of katas. These are graded separately from your belt, and at that level each kata actually consists of 2 separate katas. So you have to do 2 different ones, and that kind of counts as the kata 1, kata 2, 3 and 4 grading. Then in between black and second dan, so first dan and second dan, in between them and like before, so you can't do black unless you've done those 4 katas as well as getting to brown belt, and the same as you can't do second dan unless you've done katas 5, 6, 7 and 8. So you've got another 4 to do. They're mostly weapon ones, I think. There's because like second dan's run, the weapons kind of get incorporated into the system. And then stage I'm at, in between second and third dan, I've got 4 more to do. So 9, which I did in September, I think, 10, which I did today, and 11 and 12. And then once I've done them, I can focus on the actual grading material for third dan, which I have to wait 3 years from the time I do second dan before I can take third dan. So next June, not this coming up June, but next year, so June 2020 is when I'll be able to do my third dan exam, providing of course I've done katas 11 and 12. But at the moment I'm set on track pretty good to do them, and I should I think, be able to do Kata 11 by the next grading in 3 months' time, so that should work well. So yeah, I did that. I got honours for it, which was pretty good, especially as it's an advanced Kata. With advanced students, they tend to be held to a higher standard and scrutinised a lot more, so it's harder to get higher results. So that was pretty good. But yeah, quite a lot of the students from my Sunday classes, like the juniors and seniors, and a lot of the ladies kickboxing ones, they actually did grading for basically all of them except 2 of the juniors. It would have been their first grading, I think. So that's really good that we've got a load of them doing the first grading. Sounds like they all did really well, which is good. Reflects well on us, and our students are just doing well and living up to a good standard. So what I would say that I've learnt today, well, with it being the grading happening before the lesson, our classes didn't have too many students in, as you might kind of expect. Everyone's kind of burnt out, just finished the grading, they didn't want to really do anything else. So we had the one junior student, just had some fun with them really, lots of games and stuff like that. And we had one senior student who is like a new student, so they did the trial somewhere else in another class, and they've joined and they did a lesson in our senior class, and they're a newbie anyway, so we just kind of went through a couple bits of the new syllabus, the upcoming one, and a couple of random off syllabus things as well, just to, because it's one-on-one, it's like 2 coaches and 1 student, it's kind of like a private lesson anyway. But then we only had 1 in the ladies kickboxing as well, which is really weird because it's usually about 10 or more people in that class. So that was a bit strange, but it still went fine. We just had some fun, messed around with a couple of different things. We tried to experiment with some new stuff for the upcoming kickboxing syllabus. So by next week we'll have a better idea of what to sort of run through with everyone else. But in that kickboxing bit, the person who did arrive, the one person arrived about 10 minutes late or something, so my co-instructor spoke to me about a few things that he felt that I could improve at, and obviously I don't mind any kind of criticism. I don't take it personally. So one thing was to not be too technical when teaching beginner students, which is, you know, I definitely understand that one. I have felt like it is something that I kind of do before. I've not really addressed it too much with myself, but because I'm a higher level student and I understand it at a high level, it's hard for me to scoop down to that lower level and not explain stuff in a technical manner, because I always like to think about it very technically. So to deliberately sort of dumb stuff down is like quite tricky for me. But yeah, to not throw too much at a new student once, so to deliberately break it into smaller chunks and see how well they cope with that, and then if they do take it on board pretty quickly, I can just add more and more and more, instead of just throwing a bunch of stuff at once that's potentially too much if they're the type of student that just doesn't pick up all the details of what you say really quickly. Some students can pick up the main points and the little details, others will be really focused on the main aspects and won't pay too much attention to the other bits that you say. So yeah, that's one thing. And another one was to kind of be more sure about what I say when I'm explaining. So kind of explain things with more conviction, basically. And so saying this is definitely, this is the way that we do it, rather than it, the way we do it is kind of like this. So removing words like kind of, words that kind of make it seem slightly uncertain, which is, no, is something I'm not surprised that I am prone to. It's one of those subconscious things that you kind of throw out there. It's kind of like a fail-safe, unnecessary scapegoat or something like. I'm trying to explain why I would do this. So if you say something is kind of like this, or you have a rough understanding it's like this, it obviously is quite an irrational thing, but it's like you're giving yourself more room for error. You kind of trying to make it okay for you to potentially screw up or something. Whereas if you say something with confidence, like this is definitely how it is, if you end up being wrong in some way, it looks worse, at least to the sort of, trying to explain how like the anxious, irrational mind works, but it's kind of like that, but it's not a good thing. And then there was another minor thing, which was just voice projection and being louder, easier to hear, which is, my voice is really quiet. I'm not used to projecting it. I definitely think I have got better at volume and clear speaking in classes, but it's still obviously not quite at the level that I'd like it to be, or it would be preferable to be. I think it is getting there though. So as far as what I do differently next time is basically just try and work on those areas that I just mentioned, really. All those different things. As for other stuff that's going on right now, the club that I'm trying to set up is looks like it's going to be delayed now until September, because someone else is also starting another one, and like the head coach is kind of focusing all his time and resources and stuff on that one, and it wouldn't really work very well if it was a split focus. So we have to kind of wait until that one gets sorted out properly and has been up and running for a bit, and then we can work on the one that I want to start up with someone else as well. So that's going to be delayed until September, but it's not too bad, I think. It gives us more time to build up our own skill sets, to get some more qualifications, like the coaching course. There's an official coaching course by the British Jiu-Jitsu Association that I'm trying to get sorted for and get done. So it gives us time to focus on that. It gives us a bit more time to try and locate a really good venue that suits all our needs, and plenty of time for marketing and other stuff like that, without interfering with all the same stuff needed for this other one. So yeah, it kind of feels like it's a long time. It's about 6 months really, which is quite a long time, I suppose, but it's kind of a reliever in some way. It kind of allows me to focus more on other stuff at the same time, puts a bit of pressure on. for the time being in some ways. So yeah, that's pretty much everything I think for this week. Pretty busy day, pretty hectic week. I'm pretty mentally exhausted, I think. So yeah, I think that's it for this week. Bye.